should we just go?
Let's just jump into it.
Welcome to the Pitch of Discontent. I am Owen.
And I am Paige.
And we are slowly getting a new studio space up and running. Paige, we're no longer in our kitchen. So that's exciting news.
Thank fuck.
Welcome to the weekly roundup. This is episode
That's what we're doing.
225.
Yeah. Well, that leads to an interesting question, though.
Does it? Does it lead to an interesting question?
Yes, because we have an announcement to make.
We do.
To explain why I have been sick so much this year.
Yes.
First of all, I did have pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
That did happen.
Yes.
But then that was masking some other symptoms that I didn't realize I had for a good month, which was kind of crazy. And will maybe continue to have for a number of more months because I am pregnant.
Yes.
Insert like canned applause here. He did it. She did it. Yes.
All right. Let me have fun with the edit later when I do that.
Enjoy.
But yes, Paige is pregnant.
Yeah.
My seed is strong.
Oh, don't say that. Gross. Feral.
That does explain some of the absence and why Paige has not felt like podcasting.
Because
all the time.
you guys know that I love you and I would be here for you every week if I wasn't dying.
Yes.
Growing this little bean has been very extraneous. Creating life. This just in. Not easy.
No.
Difficult. Challenging. Especially in the first trimester.
Growing a human being inside of you turns out to be really hard, actually.
Yeah. And it's like mostly just like exhaustion. Just pure like, I don't want to come on here and give you guys like, and I have before, like just this crap energy that's like, yeah, that song was so good. It feels shit. It makes me feel like I'm not giving enough love to artists I really like. So I've just kind of been trying to take it easy on myself and thus you guys in the show.
Yeah.
And then that leads me to the next part of the announcement and then the question.
She's building, folks.
So the next part of the announcement is that I think we'll be doing next week's weekly roundup, but following that, we're going to switch to a more fortnightly schedule, at least until our little baby is here in October and then probably after that as well.
Yeah.
Because I hear newborns are challenging also. In fact, more challenging than pregnancy.
Paige and I have had several discussions and basically like keeping a consistent schedule has been important to me to really kind of like set a pace for the show and be able to,
so you guys know what, to expect each week.
Yeah, to be able to deliver, I think consistently good episodes kind of week in, week out, but also to have a lot of bonus stuff that's available for people on the Patreon and all the people who support the show.
Yeah, the juice.
As it turns out, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And I don't want to be an absentee dad. And I don't want Paige to murder me in my sleep.
It may kill him
if
he's continuing to work all hours of the night. He could die. And I think I'd be justified.
Yeah. So I will figure out how the schedule works, whether we do 2 episodes in 1 week with a gap in between, or whether I do 1 episode a week. I'll figure it out, and you'll obviously
be aware. And we'll update you with the details. But my question then is, can't be the weekly roundup.
No, I've already in the calendar schedule. I've just put bi-weekly ? And then I was like, do I change it to fortnightly
like the
roundup?
buys. One thing about us, we do enjoy buys.
You want me to put bi-weekly roundup and then like the buy flag?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. We'll figure it out. We'll come up with a name. But yeah.
Weekly.
I mean, you're not going to see a drastic change in what we're doing. Like, we will still cover the same amount of music. We'll still have feature albums. We'll still have shout outs.
It's just going to be harder for us to pick the faves of a fortnight rather than a week.
But
That's
we'll do
the
it.
main
We'll do it.
challenge.
We'll bring you the cream of the crop.
And I like to think that it'll free up Owen for a little bit more time to work on some more fun editing ideas and expand that a little bit as well, especially on those like bonus episodes and stuff. So
Yeah, I've really been trying to work on getting some Patreon exclusive stuff up for
Yeah.
people who support the show. We've got some video essay ideas that we want to get up on the channel to help kind of bring some people into the pod and what we're doing. So we've got ideas, we've got things. We're
Yeah.
definitely not stopping. We are just like setting a different pace
Yeah.
is the point.
I don't
So
even think you could call it dialing back because you're really just dialing.
we are locking in.
Yeah. And you guys can just stick around to watch me progressively get chunkier every week. And
I mean, that's going to be fun.
yeah, for sure. Maybe for you to see. It's definitely going to be progressively more uncomfortable, but I'm excited to have a cute little baby bump.
Yeah,
So
we're very excited.
that's fun.
And we hope that you guys are excited too.
Yeah, because it's essentially just one big happy pitch of discontent family. Pitch of content, really, in this instance.
Baby of content.
Baby of content.
Child of discontent.
Shows sonogram here with like a baby and a podcast mic.
Yeah, we can do that.
Just like host 3 joins, enters the chat. Yeah.
Okay, well, that is what I had for Paige's shout out for this week.
My shout out is to my unborn child.
The biggest shout out. I have some album shout outs, I guess, to put at the top of the show before we get into the roundup.
Nice.
So I put up our episode with Spencer Chamberlain from Under Oath
So sick.
last week. Really, really cool chat. Really, really humbled to kind of have him
It's wild.
be as kind of illuminating as he was. And the
He
fact
was so great. He was so forthcoming and just like such an engaging interview overall.
Yeah, and like to set the scene, if you haven't watched it already, like it's filmed in his car, so it has like the aesthetic mood of like a TikTok rant that people do like in their car. But
it totally does. It even has like the chin up angle.
Yeah, but he just really opened up about the new record, about his motivations. And on that note, their new record, The Place After This One, is finally out. I think it's really cool. I think it is exciting.
Stop shaking the table.
I think it is exciting for a band like Under Oath to still be pushing the envelope and trying to innovate on their sound, 25 years into their career. So
yeah, I think that like if there were ever a time for them to be able to just do what they want with their music, it's fucking now.
Yeah, totally.
I saw some shit on Reddit about people just pissed about them doing their own thing as well. And I was just like, are we not a bit old for this shit? Do you know what I mean? But, whatever. If you guys want to hate from outside the club, go for it.
I think if you've ever enjoyed a Under Oath song from any period, from any record, you'll like the new one, is what I would tell you.
I've enjoyed most Under Oath songs from all the records.
Yeah, well, there you go. So give that a check out. And then I also want to shout out a new record from Kareen. They're a kind of synth pop outfit that I've been championing on the newsletter and the pod for years now. They put out a new record called Simping, some would call it. New record was called A Flame in the Dark. It rules. Go check it out. If you like John Hughes movies, you'll fuck with this. It's great.
What's a John Hughes movie? Like, just name one.
Like Pretty in Pink.
Oh, yeah. Sick. Okay, cool. Sorry. Bad with names and places and people.
And then I'd also like to shout out the new record from The Warriors. They have a record.
Sorry. Every time you say it, I know I do the bit, but I can't. It's definitely a bit of a vocal stim.
Yeah.
Here we are.
No, I knew it would happen. We featured one of the tracks on the show a couple of weeks ago, but the full record is out.
Yay!
It's called Burn Yourself Alive, and it's great.
I bet it is. If it's anything like that track we featured, it's definitely
it's just the Warriors doing what they do. They're just holding it down. Still heavy, still fun, still groovy. It's cool shit. And we've got a banger feature album to talk about this week. So I think let's just jump into it.
I finally showed Owen what that deep cut meme is a deep cut meme
for what that is.
After doing it on this show for, I think even on the audio only version of this podcast, I was doing that. So for those of you playing at home, it is a reference to a parody that Jax Films did of Philly DTV. So it's literally like 3 levels deep by the time it gets to this podcast.
Yeah,
but
there was no way I was going to get the lore and Paige has been doing it as
I've
a
been
bit.
on YouTube since it was created, so I just have random things that live and exist in my brain and probably will till the day I die. I'll be like an old lady with dementia and I'll be like, let's just jump into it. And the kids will be like, what the fuck is wrong with this lady?
She finally did the law dump on me, and I finally get the bit that she's been doing on the show since we started,
This
like
whole
2 years
time.
ago. So
It's
that's
funner to
fun.
do bits and not give context, though,
Yeah.
in my opinion. To just be like, I'm funny. People just think I'm doing silly noises, you know, and not give the ultimate core of it. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what got us here. That's
Yeah,
how we're here
cool.
today, existing.
All right, well, let's just jump into side A.
Let's just jump into
Let's
it.
go.
All right, Owen.
We're back.
What have you got for us this week?
First up on side A this week, I have Bristol Newgaze's
Bristol.
Split Chain. God fucking damn it. Straight away, she's there with the accents. Incredible.
And it was superb. So,
I mean, we've been to Bristol, so I would expect that she has at least some
Good
lived
show.
experience to.
wait, what? Who was that? Who did we see in Bristol? I'm
I
gonna
don't know
say it was Nikki's band.
Oh yeah, maybe we did see Blood Command in Bristol.
Yeah, it was. It was Blood Command in Bristol.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm.
That was a good show.
Yeah,
See,
it was
there you
either
go.
Bristol
She
or
does-
Brighton. It was one of the B ones.
One of the B ones, yes. Well, Split Chain from Bristol have announced
yeah.
the release of their debut album. This one is called Motion Blur, altogether, one word. And it's out on July
That's cool.
11th through Epitaph Records. This is a band that I've been following for a while. They are definitely in the new gaze category. Sonic reference points like
What?
Deftones, Super Heaven,
Right.
Narrowhead, etc.
So when you say new gaze, you mean nothing like shoegaze?
No, it's like the new generation of people listening to and aping shoegaze sounds.
And what they've decided is shoegaze.
Yeah, but it is.
I like new gaze.
It's like a lot of bands like Oversize, who we featured on the show.
Great band.
Very similar to that band in terms of like they are referencing stuff from the 90s and the 2000s. They're referencing nu metal, shoegaze, emo, grunge, a little bit of metal, like all sorts of different stuff thrown in a blender and then delivered with a very like melodic,
Particular
poppy
sonic.
kind of hook. Yeah.
Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it.
Yeah, you'll definitely dig it. I've got a little quote here from bassist Tom Davies, who says that the album is as much a coming of age story as it is a celebration of our adolescence and the things that defined us. We wanted to encapsulate the feelings of angst and isolation that so many struggle with growing up, but just as importantly, we wanted to honor the things that shaped us, the lifestyles, the music, and the pop culture that became part of our identity.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I also like those things. I grew up around the same time, so I feel like this is right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely will be. I also have a quote from frontman Bert Martinez Cowles, who says, "Split Chain is something that none of us feel like we have any control of. Split Chain simply does what it wants and what it needs."
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's tight.
All right, well, I'm going to play you the lead single from the new record. This is Split Chain, Bored, Tired, Torn.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go. Hey, we're back.
I think he
thoughts?
sounds kind of like a Greg Puciato type vocal.
Okay, that's
Do
interesting.
you hear that? And
A
then
little bit.
I can hear kind of like a Powderfingery vibe in here.
Yeah,
right?
I can definitely hear like a Powderfingery kind of thing. Like
Like it's just a little bit of powder on the finger.
a lot of the bands that they're referencing would obviously
be.
be.
Okay. A lot of the bands they're referencing.
Did you make a cocaine joke? Is that
A little bit of cocaine.
Is that what I'm missing?
Just a tiny bit of the boogie sugar.
Yeah, like I mean, bands from our area that were doing a lot of the stuff around that shoegaze period are your Powderfingers,
Yeah.
your Silverchairs.
That's the nostalgia.
That's the grunge kind of alternative nexus.
And I'm here for it. But with this new gaze sort of swing,
yeah.
you know?
Like I would say this leans definitely more into your grunge, your alternative with a pop kind of hook. Like not a lot of shoegaze going on here apart from like maybe some aesthetics and some guitar texture. But
A bit of jangliness.
that's the thing with like new gaze as like a descriptor. Like it is very broad and it's referencing more of like a texture and an aesthetic rather than like a
similar
distinct
to
thing.
like nu metal.
Yeah, very much like new metal.
It's referencing a texture and aesthetic and not necessarily the genre itself.
Are you moving the table? Why would you be moving the table?
This is what it's like when you move that table.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So shout out to TPD patron Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris is a real one. He sent this one over, and I actually have one of two that he recommended from last week. So thanks for supplying tunes to the show that you
You're
subscribe
just
to.
doing his job for him at this point.
We should essentially just make him part of the staff at this point.
Yeah, on the payroll.
So he sent through a new 4-track demo from a Sydney outfit that I wasn't familiar with. This is Metalcore crew Dance.
Okay.
They dropped their demo on March 21st. And I would say that if you fuck with anything that's been released through the Afira label or the Coming Strife, labels that we've definitely featured a bunch on the show, basically new up-and-coming metalcore type stuff, then you'll fuck with this. The band have played their first show in like late 2024 and kind of hit the ground running from there. But they've got a bunch of shows coming up in Melbourne with Blood on My Hands.
Oh, that's sick.
Canberra with Thantu Thicka and Volatile Ways.
Oh, shit. That's
and
awesome.
then in Sydney with Homesick. So they're on some good bills, playing a bunch of shows.
Okay, well, now you've hyped it up a lot and you're still talking. I want to hear the song.
All right. So out of the demo, I picked The Closer. So we're going to listen to that now.
Okay.
So this is Dance, Bone Dog by Eva Hallambitis Doherty.
Cool. All right. It's a mouthful.
Thoughts?
Hello. Loving the very like high range, scratchy sort of like ferocious vocal line.
It's very
That's
like shrieking.
Shrill.
Yes. Yeah.
Super cool. That intro is so interesting because it almost like lulls you into this like, oh, we're gonna go into like a synthwave type track. And then it's all of a sudden just like grabbing you by the throat and smashing you against the wall. And I love that. I like being lulled into a false sense of security and then punched in the face repeatedly with sonics.
Yes.
Basically.
Now, I knew from the title that was obviously like a reference to something. And I wasn't immediately familiar with it.
What is it a reference to?
I did a Google. So have you seen the film, God, what is it called? I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
No.
So it's a Charlie Kaufman film, came out in 2020. And like most things that came out in 2020, people just kind of forgot it ever existed.
I slept on it.
But it is a film adaptation of a novel by Ian Reid from 2016. And it's basically kind of about loneliness and suicide.
I mean, the name is a bit of a dead giveaway on that
and
one.
melancholia.
Sure.
But the sample is obviously from the film, which is a reference to a poem, which is the Bone Dog poem by Eva Hallambitis Doherty, which is referenced in the film and the novel. So it's like layers of reference going on there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But
That went straight over my head.
Definitely not synthwavy at all in Sonics.
No.
But you could see that.
But you can see that intro, right?
That could totally work.
It could totally be like a gunship intro or like a
definitely.
midnight intro. Rad. I loved it.
Yeah, it's really, really sick. excited to check them out. I want to try and go to this Melbourne show that they're playing with Blood on My Hands to kind of see what they're
I
all
will
about.
not go because people keep smoking weed at gigs and I'm
Yes.
pregnant.
Pregnant. No, I saw some live footage of the band and they look like they're having a lot of fun and it sounds heavy, so I'm keen to check it out.
Yeah, well, have fun. I'll just be miserable
Thanks.
at home for like the 80 billionth time that you got to go to gigs without me this year. Huh.
Let's move on for side A. Last we heard from Hudson Valley Bruises' Age of Apocalypse.
Mhm.
Was when they dropped a LP back in 2022 called Grim Wisdom. I think that was before the pod, but when I was still doing the newsletter. So I think I talked about it in the newsletter then. But this is like groovy metallic hardcore that has sung vocals. I'm thinking like your crowbars, your twitching tongues, that sort of like very heavy stuff, but with a sung melodic vocal.
I can make my tongue do this.
Yeah.
So that's relevant.
Yeah, very relevant. They're coming out with their second full-length LP. This one is called In Oblivion and drops on May 23rd through Closed Casket Activities. The record was produced by Taylor Young, who is part of Twitching Tongues and God's Hate.
See? Relevant.
Thank you. And it has a guest appearance from Taylor's brother Colin, who is in Twitching Tongues also. As well
lots
as Holy
of twitching
Blade.
tongue.
Yes. There's also a guest appearance from Sean Alexander from Demonstration of Power and Graham Sale of High-Vis. I have a quote from singer Dylan Kaplowitz who says, on the opener of the record, which is the song that I'm about to play for you in a second, Mortal Coil deals with the themes of loss and how one navigates grief or betrayal. It expresses that we all have to follow these paths of life, however difficult, but we don't have to navigate these hardships alone.
No, it's like Red Dead, right? Basically,
Yes,
the end
please,
of the
tell me.
game is always going to be the same. Like, ultimately, Arthur was always going to die. No matter what you did, if you white-hatted, if you black-hatted, no matter what honor level you got,
Yes.
ultimately, you're going to end up as John, and Arthur would be dead. And Dutch is still a prick, either way. But what you can decide is how your friends come along with you or don't come along with you along the way. And that's just a message about life.
It's not the destination, it's the journey, folks.
And it's about who you spend it with.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
No
Thought about it
worries.
really long and hard and didn't just spew it out onto this track.
Yeah, that's great. Let's have a listen to the opener and lead single from this new record. This is Age of Apocalypse, Mortal Coil.
Let's do it.
Let's go. It's so fucking sick.
That was rad. That bass line that just like comes through and peels
Sick and
everything
chunky.
back. Oh,
So good.
so good. There's also just like a solid slide in there. I love a good slide.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of like doom metal, a lot of sludge.
It's got a lot of thrash vibes in peeled back to like a doom beat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And to me, like, this sounds like if Candlemass were like a hardcore band. Like,
It's exactly what it sounds like.
it's like operatic,
I'm
theatrical vocals.
an authority on Candlemass, and that's like
Are you?
that's exactly what this sounds like. So
Yeah. The real ones, no.
yeah, I know because I'm a real one. So
Yeah. But you're right. It is this like stuff that on paper might not necessarily like come off as something that would work, which is like the heavy hardcore,
yeah,
the down-tuned like heavy stuff
Mortal.
with like a very kind of like, I don't know, kind of just like
catchy.
catchy
Yeah.
operatic kind of vocal over the top, but it rules.
It is so sick.
Yeah, Dylan sounds even better on this record, I think,
Yeah.
than on Grim Wisdom. And I really enjoyed him on Grim Wisdom. Like, I think they were doing very much the similar thing there, but I think it's all just more refined and improved on this one.
It's got a sheen to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear In
The
Oblivion.
Charlie Sheen.
The tiger blood.
Exactly.
Haha, how do you do, fellow meme?
Meme? Fellow meme?
You know what I meant.
Reese has a cone on his head right now.
Yes.
So there's all types of mayhem
I'll
happening.
throw up a photo for everyone to look at.
He's very sad.
He got his nuts cut off and he's been wearing a cone for a week.
He got fixed.
So he's going through some stuff.
He's having a time.
Just let him adjust.
Let him cook, okay?
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Next up for side A, we have a band that we featured back in September last year. We covered the rollicking single Big Shoes from Nam/Melbourne self-described hard rockin' power poppin' outfit Leatherman.
Yeah.
Do you remember Leatherman?
I remember the name, but I'm having a bit of trouble remembering the track actually.
That's okay. You'll
pulled back in.
You'll be drawn right back in.
Yeah.
The band, well, I said then that I hope we get a debut LP announcement for this year. I was correct. We have. The record is called Turn You On.
Wow, are you psychic, Owen?
I know.
Wow. It's crazy. It's fucking wild.
The record is called Turn You On. It is coming out on April 10th through Legless Records here in Australia.
Sex stuff.
This Charming Man in the UK and Europe, and then Green Noise in the US. The album boasts, quote, songs about partying, freaking out, true crime, taking the piss out of footy players, lust, and heartbreak, with a lineup, quote, of rockers brought together via a love of melody-driven rock and roll, the finest 70s guitar-laden anthems, the stomp and gallop of 80s metal gods, and classic power pop hooks fused with modern kicks.
Did I write this song?
Did I write the song of now?
Of this day?
Of this pod?
Oh, who knows?
Who's to say?
Who knows?
No, all the singles have been dope. This one is definitely the strongest, and maybe the band's like glammiest.
Oh, glammiest.
Heaviest, I guess.
Sheeniest.
Yeah,
Ephemeralist.
It's sick. It's dope. Let's just jump into it. We'll chat about it.
Jump into it.
Fucking damn it. We'll chat about it on the other side. This is Leatherman, Murder in the First Degree.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's go.
And I remember Big Shoes now.
Yes.
Big shoes, booze, and guitars.
That's it. She got it.
Yeah, we got that. We got that.
This one's a little bit more on the heavy side, but like they're still very poppy, still very like in that power pop realm.
Totally.
Murder in the First Degree.
A little less Thin Lizzy.
Totally.
Yeah.
A little bit more thrashy.
A little bit thrashier.
Like, what was that quote in the label bit? Like, guitar-mony?
Yeah.
Like, guitar harmony stomp? Like, that's definitely going on here.
They're
Lots of
doing a little bit
soloing.
more experimentation with how the instruments plays with their vocals, and I like it. I like that shit.
I also just like how, like, obviously the topic of the song, like Murder in the First Degree, they just have that screaming sample that's played like 5 times of like, ah!
Yeah. I also like that. How's it go again?
I don't know, my voice broke. So hard to do.
You nailed it. It was so
Thank
pretty.
you so much.
Good job.
Final song for side A this week. I'm excited to play this one for you. So this is a band that I've never heard prior to finding them. It was a random find thanks to my YouTube algorithm. I saw the thumbnail and I was like, never heard of that band. What's this? Clicked on it.
I do that with TikToks.
And it was fucking sick. So this is a happy, heavy math rock band from Chicago called Snooze.
Love math rock.
Yeah, you're going to fucking love this.
This is right up my
They
alley.
have a new album coming out called I Know How You Will Die.
Do you?
I don't actually.
Tell me. Tell me now.
The record is dropping next week on April 4th. They have some vinyl distro through Choke Artist, and I have a quote from the distributor about this record, which is quite funny because it's just like a very like, rather than a label spiel, it's like a very personal kind of thing about the band and the record.
Okay, hit me.
So Choke Artist says, I can't even really fully explain how colossal this album is because I haven't fully grasped it. every time I listen through, I'm picking something new out of it, whether it's understanding the rhymes of rhythm in a bouncy pinball chug, wrapping my head around a lead or a drum and bass groove, or getting absolutely destroyed by a lyric.
Music notes are the best.
Yeah.
And everything that they do to describe their music is the best.
Yeah.
Nerd.
I think if you're into bands like Car Bomb, Tesseract,
Yes.
and So I Watch You From Afar,
Yes.
or any kind of Swancore related stuff,
Oh, no, not that one.
it's not for Paige.
Just kidding.
I think you guys will fuck with this.
Love you,
but
Will Swan.
This really got me on my first listen, and I was like, I need to put this on the show. So this is Snooze, Harked.
Okay, let's do this. Snooze. Here's Reese with a coat on his head.
Hey, Reese.
I don't like this.
In case you're not watching, Reese has a cone on his head and he enjoyed the song.
He did like the song.
Paige, what did you think of the song?
I really liked the song too. I also thought it was very nostalgic.
Okay, nostalgic for what? Or of what?
I'm just nostalgia. It's as much as I wish to elaborate.
Okay.
Because that's like a thing now, just nostalgia.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I liked the very start-stop rhythmic pattern. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
it
dun.
was definitely like lots of like staccato patterns,
Yeah.
both in like the rhythms, but also in like the lead and the vocal. I also just loved like I showed Paige the video because that was the thing that like drew me in when I first heard it.
really gave me flashbacks to working in a warehouse for a massive electronic boutique game distribution company,
Oh yeah, you don't say.
which was not traumatizing for me at all. But
Weird.
did give me PTSD flashbacks. And did people pass out in that warehouse from heat exhaustion? Yes. It's funny you should ask. Yes, they did all the time. It's weird. Someone should really look into that. Yeah, like, I don't know what else there is to say. Like, it's a really great track. The vibe of that video clip is very, like, early 2010s sort of
Yeah, but like I think
air hanger.
it just looked a lot smoother and a lot more professional than
Oh,
some
yeah,
of
it
the
was
more.
crystal. Very 5K, don't get me
yeah.
wrong.
But like it just
We're not talking, like, early Asking Alexandria style.
no.
Early
But like
2010s.
the live performance clip can definitely look a little bit lackluster, whereas this one was very like engaging, very smooth.
Yeah, I think that was, like, a real, like, filmmaker finesse on it.
Definitely.
Yeah, like it had like this continuous film style almost. It
Yeah.
wasn't, but do you know what I mean? Like
Well,
that was the
The
aesthetic.
single shot
Yeah,
type
that's
thing,
it.
right? Where
That's
everything
it.
is kind of just like
Single
moving around.
shot. Yeah.
Which I think like that kind of single shot smoothness.
It's not easy to do, but it is for my ADHD brain like super entertaining and
It
engaging.
is, and it also like balances well with the choppy stop startness of the instrumental.
Yes. Yeah.
So like you're hearing the instrumental be like and then you're watching the guys in the band and their heads are just like
Do you know what it reminds me of a little bit? The instrumental track.
what?
Reminds me of like when you would go to make a phone call back in the day and it was on broadband or dial up, I guess is what you would call it internationally.
Yeah.
And it would be like, no, wait, it'd be where you get a text message and the Bluetooth speaker would be like,
Kind of sounded like Morse code.
yeah,
Like,
but with obviously a rhythmic pattern and not just like weird interference noises. And maybe that's what I meant by nostalgia.
yes, we got to the root of it. That's what she was nostalgic
We
for.
found it.
Dialogue.
Sometimes I just say words before I figure out what I mean by them.
Nah, she doesn't do that at all.
I do. And that's why we're all here. It's for the ride, you
It
know?
is. Well, that brings us to the end of side A for this week. So I hope you've enjoyed those tracks. We have some more for you if you would like to come over
You
to
can
the
come
TPD
hang out over
Patreon.
there. I'll be more pregnant there.
Yeah, for sure. Should be way more pregnant.
I'm actually just going to have like a sonogram on the of it, like an ultrasound, just live streaming the baby here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. That would be really intense.
You can go to patreon.com/tpdpod. You can
This
sign
guy.
up for as little as $3 USD or
That's
$5
nothing.
AED a month. You get all of our bonus content.
Cheap as
You get the
chips.
full weekly Roundup shows. Please sign
And
up.
we do not strip search anyone with tattoos.
We won't.
So we have that on TSA.
Unless you're into it. We won't.
We will if you're into it.
Please help support the show. Support us.
Please.
Support our unborn child.
Please help us support our unborn child. That would be so nice.
That would be dope. Let's jump over there and finish off the show.
Let's do it.
See ya.
Woo!
Subscribe now to the Pitch of Discontent Patreon to receive access to extended cuts of our bonus episodes, as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes content, monthly Patreon-only episodes, member-only votes, the TPD community chat, and much more. Go now to patreon.com/tpdpod and join for as little as $5 a month. That link again is patreon.com/tpdpod. Thanks for watching the show.